I'm 71. I'm American. And right here in Sukhothai, I live well on $1,300 a month. And today, I open up every single line of it. Before I pour the coffee and get into it, do me one quick favor. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It honestly makes my day, and it keeps these porch breakdowns coming. Now, that same month, same me, same 3 meals a day, same doctor, same bills at the end of it back in Ohio ran me closer to $4,000. $4,000 there, $1,300 here. That gap is the whole reason I'm on this porch talking to you instead of scraping ice off a windshield at 6 in the morning. I did 30-some winters like that. Gray sky from November clear through March, a heating bill that made me wince, and a checking account that mostly just passed money through on its way to somebody else. 10 years ago, I'd had enough of it, and I moved to this quiet old town north of Bangkok, Sukhothai. The temple ruins right over my shoulder, and I still catch myself, most mornings, running the math and grinning like I got away with something. Grab a pen if you've got one. I want you running these against your own numbers as we go, not just taking my word for it. Because a number I say to you means nothing. A number you can hold up next to your own light, next to your own rent and your own grocery bill, that's the thing that quietly changes a life. Let me start where my day starts. 7 o'clock, the morning market, before the heat really leans on you. Pensri's already got her noodle cart going. A tiny woman, sharp eyes, an apron that's seen 1,000 mornings, charcoal smoke curling up, lemongrass and star anise in the air, and she waves me over before I've even got the scooter parked. A steaming bowl, pork broth she's been coaxing along since before dawn, a handful of fresh herbs dropped on top, 30 baht, that's under $1. Under $1 for a breakfast that tastes like somebody's grandmother stood over it all night. And that, most mornings, is right where the arithmetic stops being numbers on a page and turns into something I can actually taste. So let me read you the real lines now, starting with the big one. The rent. My place is a 1-bedroom right along the canal. I hear the water moving at night. There's a little balcony where the coffee happens, a ceiling fan that turns slow and easy. 13,500 baht a month. In dollars, that lands at about 385. 10 years I've been paying rent in this town, and I've never once had a landlord raise it on me mid-lease. You shake a hand here, and it means something. Picture what your place back home costs you every single month, and just hold that thought right up next to $385. My own son, good kid, works harder than I ever did. Pays $1,600 for an apartment in Columbus that's smaller than mine and stares out at a parking lot. $1,600 there, $385 here, canal and slow fan, and all. And let me stop right here for a second, because this is exactly where people go wrong. In 10 years, I've watched good, smart folks step off the plane, already carrying the worst advice you ever heard, picked up from some stranger in an online forum who's never once set foot here and then pay for it, in real money and in weeks of headache. That's the whole reason I sat down and put every real number and every office I actually walk into myself into the one-way guide, the ebook inside the one-way club. It won't learn the language for you, and it won't hold your hand through things you flat refuse to do. But if you want the honest arithmetic instead of somebody's guess, the full breakdown lives right in there. The link's down in the description whenever you're ready for it. All right, back to the statement. And I mean statement literally. From here on, I read it to you the way a man reads his own bank statement out loud at his own kitchen table. No rounding, no hand waving, no, couple $100 somewhere. Every line in baht, and right beside it in dollars. I write these down myself in pen every single month. And here's the one thing you need to know before I turn to the next line. Almost everything on this page is cheap. Embarrassingly cheap. The kind of cheap that makes you laugh out loud your first year. You start feeling like you slipped through a crack in the fence, and nobody's noticed yet. The noodles, the rent, the little stuff, I'll walk you through in a minute. But there's one line on this statement that isn't cheap at all. And it's not the rent that keeps me up at night. It's the number I have to write down every single month now that I'm past the age of 70. And I'll get to that number. Don't worry, it earns a straight look. But let me clear the easy lines off the page first, because sitting right next to that one, everything else on here looks almost free. Start with the power bill. April is the hot month up here in Sukhothai. The air sits on you like a wet towel by 10 in the morning, and my little window unit runs hard from noon until I fall asleep at night. That's the worst the meter ever gets. And it came to 2,100 baht, about $60. $60 in the month I brace for. Back in Ohio, that didn't get you halfway through a July bill with the central air fighting a heat wave. Here, it's the ceiling, not the floor. Every other month, it's less. Water's next. And this one still makes me grin every time I read down the column. A whole month, showers, the dishes, the little garden out back where the frangipani drops its flowers on the step, 170 baht, $5. $5 for a month of water? Think about what a single coffee run costs you back home, and let that sit for a second. That's no typo on my statement. That's just what it costs out here. Internet? Same easy story. 590 baht a month, $17. And I'll tell you honestly, it's faster than the connection I paid nearly triple for outside Columbus. I run a video call with my grandkids on a Sunday morning, and it never so much as stutters. $17. So that's the top of the page. Power, water, internet, the 3 lines a newcomer frets about before he ever comes, and together they don't add up to what one dinner out used to cost me back home. I keep the paper statement, you know. Every month I sit out here with the coffee going cold, and I read it straight down, top to bottom, the way my father read his. No app, no clever chart telling me how I feel about my spending, just the numbers, one under the next. And most of them, I'll be honest, I barely slow down for anymore. Now the line I told you about, the one that isn't cheap, health insurance. Once you're past 70, it climbs every single year, like clockwork. This year, it sits at 6,300 baht a month, $180. The renewal letter came in the mail last month, and I sat right here at this table and circled the new premium in pen, the way you do when a number actually matters. It's the one line on this whole page that has grown every year I've been past 70. If you're over 70 and this is the number you've been quietly worried about, you're right to watch it. So am I. Let me tell you exactly how I plan around it. Here's the honest part, and I won't dress it up. I don't know where it stops. I expect it to keep rising. It has every year I've been here. And any man who tells you he's found a plan that holds flat at my age is selling you something. Where's the ceiling? I don't know. That's the answer, and I'd rather hand you that than a pretty guess. $180 today, more next year, near certain. But watch what happens when I set it back down next to the rest. Even with that giant sitting on the page, even with the one line I can't sweet talk, the month still runs low, way low. That's the whole point of this. It's the line I plan around, not the one that scares me off the porch. I put a little more aside for it each year, and I sleep just fine. The rent never once kept me up. This one I keep an eye on. There's a difference, and after 10 years here, I know exactly which is which. And here's what that one honest number buys you. If I sat here and told you every line was $5 and nothing ever went up, you'd be right not to trust a word of it. It's this hard line, the one I won't soften, that lets you believe the cheap ones. That's how a man reads his own bank statement. He doesn't skip the ugly line. He reads it out loud, too. So, look at where we stand. The little bills, power, water, internet barely move the needle. The insurance is the giant in the room, and I've set it right out on the table, no hiding it. But I'll let you in on something. The 2 things I actually spend the most on, day in and day out, aren't even on this page yet. Not the rent, not the power. The 2 lines that eat the biggest share of my month are feeding myself and getting around this town, and I haven't opened either one for you. That leaves the two lines I spend the most on every day, the food and getting around town, and one line I could cut and never will. Twice a week, I walk 2 doors down to Malie, the woman with the silver braid, and she says the same thing every single time. You sit, you rest, let me put those 3 lines on the table, and then I'll add up the whole month out loud. So, here's Malie. 2 doors down, that silver braid catching the light, and every single time I sit down, she pats the cushion and says, "You sit, you rest, twice a week." An hour on my feet while the temple ruins go pink out the window. That runs me 2,600 baht a month, $75. And I'll be straight with you, that's the one line on this whole page I would fight you over. You can take my scooter, you can take my fancy internet, but you leave Malie alone. At 71, an hour of somebody kind working the ache out of your feet is not a luxury. It's medicine. All right, now the 2 big ones. The lines I actually spend on every day. Food first, because food is the one everybody back home gets wrong. They picture me pinching pennies over a can of beans. Not even close. I eat out most days. The morning noodles, a real lunch, dinner at the night market with the charcoal smoke drifting over the tables, all of it. And for the whole month, eating like that, I spend about 15,000 baht, $430. That's my biggest single line by a mile. And it's still nothing next to what a month of restaurants ran me in Ohio. Back there, $430 was maybe 8 dinners out before the tip. Here, it's every meal I take, 30 days running, and I never once look at the right side of the menu. Then, getting around. I've got a little scooter parked by the canal, and when I don't feel like riding, there's the Song Thu. That's the pickup truck with the benches in the back, rattling up the road into town, 10 baht to hop on. Add up the gas, the scooter, the odd ride, all of it. 1,750 baht a month. $50. Now, think back to your driveway. My car in Columbus ate $300 a month. Easy, just in gas and insurance. And that's before it needed a single repair. $300 to sit in traffic. $50 to breeze past the ruins with the warm air on my arms. I'm not going to pretend that's a hard trade. Okay, here's the part I promised you back at the top. Before I read it off, do me a favor. Total up your own month in your head right now. Rent, food, the car, the insurance, the lot. Get your number. Hold it ready, because here comes mine, line by line, the way a man reads his own bank statement at the kitchen table. Rent by the canal, 13,500 baht. The power bill in the April heat, 2,100. Water, 170. Internet, 590. The health insurance, 6,300. Food, 15,000. Getting around, 1,750. And Malie, 2,600. Let me carry that over into dollars, slow, so you can watch it stack. Rent, 385. Power, 60. Water, 5. Internet, 17. Insurance, 180. Food, 430. Transport, 50. The feet, 75. Added up, it lands right around $1,300. There it is. That's the number I opened with, standing right here before I'd poured the coffee, except now it's not a claim anymore. Now you watched it get built. Every line has a receipt behind it. $1,300 for a full month of a good life in Sukhothai. And not a rounded off, hand-waving 1,300 either. A real one, that adds up because I added it up in front of you. And I'll keep the one honest promise I made you earlier. Of all those lines, exactly one is going to climb on me. The insurance. Past 70, it goes up a little every year. And I expect it to keep going. That's the number that keeps me honest, not the rent. But here's the thing. Even with that one line pushing upward, the month still lands where I said it would. The rent holds. The power holds. Noodles are still under $1. One line moves, the whole page stays. Now, The mirror. Back in Ohio, this exact same month, a roof, food, a car, being covered when I got sick that was close to $4,000. $4,000 there, $1,300 here. And I'm not living smaller for the difference. I'm living bigger, warmer. I sleep better and I eat better. And somebody rubs my feet on Tuesdays. So take your Social Security check. Whatever lands in your account on the 3rd of the month, put it down next to $1,300, right there on the table beside it. And if there's room left over, if your check clears that number with something to spare that room, that gap, that is the life I've just spent this whole time describing to you. That's not a dream you're saving up for. That's headroom you already have. That's the whole trick. And it isn't a trick at all. The dollars go further because everything here costs less to reach. And the difference doesn't vanish. It sits somewhere. For me, that $4,000 to $1,300 gap is sitting in two places. Half of it's in my savings, quietly growing for the first time in my life. And the other half is on my face every single morning when I take my coffee out to the porch and the sun comes up over those old brick towers that have been standing 700 years. I can't run your numbers for you. I don't know your check. I don't know your habits. I don't know what you can't live without. Everybody's got a male. But I can tell you exactly what a decent month costs out here, because you just watched me count every baht of it. So do your own math tonight. Sit down with your real numbers, not the scary ones somebody put in your head. Line them up against 1,300. You may already be a whole lot closer than you think.